presented by the Data Network. This is Eden. This is New Eden.
Hello, and welcome. This is New Eden FM, the radio show, your weekly update on all things Eve. Keeping New Eden Pocket Edition awesome. This is Maestra Mackenzie sending all of you guys in the sound of us a huge shout out and thanks for your song request during the pre-show, making you more connected with these broadcasts each and every week. And I'm never alone doing it either. In the studio, I do believe we have the original Alondra, and she has the New Eden FM fleet out. Where?
Well, we are out in Clarelam today because the advantage of being me is I'm everywhere and I see what you're all doing, and I know everybody keeps on going out here. So come on out here and fly with us this morning, get some free isk, and we'll have some fun.
Oh my goodness. Dracus, eat your heart out. And my one and only, my amor, Latara. How are we today? Please tell me you're
Yo,
not
yo,
tackled off a gate.
yo.
Please tell me you're not tackled off a gate.
No, that was earlier. I yeeted into Delve and got yeeted. But it was fun.
TSC?
Learned a lot about my my Megathron fit.
I bet it was Rose.
You eated a Megathron?
I didn't do it, I swear.
No, it wasn't Rose. It was some of the Asian time zone hours, and they're aggressive. I like them.
Yeah, I like them too. I mean,
Yeah,
when I was
they are.
leaving TSC space that one time, I literally was leaving through K4, and right in front of me there was a no gate camp, and Maddie was sitting there with two capital ships and a Dictor, and on the other side of that gate was Miller, Immortal Rage, and a whole lot of other pleasant yet unpleasant people from No Please Stop. So I was like pincered in between some cows that were chasing me and No Please Stop. So needless to say, I got to a safe spot logged off. Yeah, the cows, I actually really like it. The cows will give you some content if you go into their space. And, fun-loving group. And on that subject, Rose, how are you? And of course, the TSC peoples.
I'm hanging in there. I had a bout of mad cow disease last week, but I'm hanging in there. I'm doing much better. But yeah, we're just being cows, doing our thing, leaving cow patties everywhere.
Cow
Don't step in
patties.
them.
Wait, I don't. Is that what we're calling them these days? Cow patties?
Yeah, you can call them whatever you want.
My goodness. Well, oh, jeez.
It's a
Well,
bunch of BS. That's all I know.
okay. Okay, so you guys know how we do it here on the show. In a few minutes, your weekly update, debate, something on all things Eve, New Eden news. And from there, we kind of just, we do us, right? I believe that's a good word for it.
This is your weekly update on all things Eve Echoes and Eve Online. New Eden News.
Welcome to New Eden News, boys and girls. And we did have some very interesting things this week, including a brand new patch. And one thing I'm really pleased about for this particular brand new patch is that this one was more or less, it was quality of life changes. So the AI voice prompt, which will be triggered whenever you run out of space in like your mining vessels, whenever your fleet commander issues issues commands, that's also announced.
Fleet
And also whenever you are getting low on shields or armor, which you can change. You can change that in the settings. And I think after a while, the little alerts become just
Warp drive active.
But I really like them there, and they're nice. They're nice. That's alright. You've been taking people prompts. Have you actually gotten to hear those prompts yourself? Not really.
Not really. I generally do everything on voice calls. So it's something that and I play with the sound off.
Yeah.
So
I had my sound off until I found out these new changes were there. Then I was like, okay, so let me at least turn it on and off on the show. In fact, we need to get Bikini back on the show as well. But I know with all the content that's been going on, it's a little bit difficult to, you know, I guess, quote-unquote, follow up and get these people to come back. Interestingly enough, this time on Sundays is pretty popular for PvP. So I'm always arguing with Mel about setting stuff up during the radio show. Like, dude, I want to go out and PvP as well, but you keep on setting all this stuff up on the radio show. Fortunately for me, we actually have some fun content to get a little bit later on. So a huge love going out to our content creators. I've been noticing that most of the videos that are going out lately have videos that are nice for other people. Sorry, Latara?
Wait. Camping in a Revelation?
Camping in a Revelation.
in a rev?
Yeah.
Oh,
Camping in
I
Revelation
don't
is
know.
probably the way to do it. Yeah. Of course, Sheafed, with his exploration of the Lazarus units and what they do in conjunction with, say, for example, Plex. What the difference is, yes, you guys are better off with the units than the Plex. And Chicken, big shout out to Chicken, whom I've known for a very long time, who actually made a really cool fleet member guide for
Enemy ships
Eve Echoes
detected.
players, which, to be honest with you, I think that if you have any novice players, they should probably get in and start checking that out, because these are things that you probably would have benefited when you were taking out our rookies. Latara?
I mean, I'll just yeet them somewhere dangerous, and if they come out the other side, they're stronger. If they lose their ship, they're stronger.
Oh, jeez.
I'm very clear that most fleets with me is a one-way trip, but that's fine because then you don't have to take the ship home at the end of the roam.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, right? I mean, some people kind of like to come home. Well, I mean, let me put it this way. It's a little different in Eve Echoes, right? Because kill marks are attached to basically the pilot and not the ship. If you want to keep your ship kill marks in EVE Online, you make damn sure your ship gets home. Because otherwise, all those kill marks, they're attached just to that one hull. There were people that would like buy ships that had a bunch of kill marks on them as like museum pieces because they couldn't go out and like get all those kill marks and stuff. Yeah, Phoenix Tassador, Heatathron. Absolutely. So, of course, I think last week on the show we did have 6 on the show, and Perpetua did drop in a video of the return of 6. So that should be very interesting and create more content. Lately, things have been feeling just a little bit stale around New Eden. So I'm glad that our content creators are still finding some cool stuff to do. I didn't get an opportunity to tune in to Rambo's show on last Thursday because I had a very important doctor's appointment. But yeah, he was back. He missed the week before last, but it was great to see Echoes of New Eden back on the air. I'm just pausing for a moment.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm only pausing for a moment to check out what is going on in the sound of us. This is kind of creepy, actually.
While there is a lot of new content being created by the content creators, everybody is wondering what the next war is going to be, because to be honest, there's not a lot of going on the warfare front in Galaxy right now.
I completely agree with you, and it looks like Phoenix and Rep are in the process of creating a bromance in the sound of us. Good job, guys. Good job. We do need some more content though. Like with everybody all turtled up and stuff, there's not a whole lot to actually extract from the game, especially in the way of like news segments and things like that. And I think that that could be a little bit, I guess, bad. Something that should be more or less looked at later on. But I'm really interested in finding out how the state of the war works out, between this thing that is happening with Void and No. I think that, personally, no offense to you, No guys, because I love you. You guys are probably like hurting for content, same as us, and you're just like waiting for someone to make the mistake, like to give you a reason to go out and shoot them. it's, it's actually fine. We were at the point where finally we got up and we were like, you know what, we're gonna go and create some content. So we're just going to find someone to go and shoot, and just and shoot them and just shoot their stuff and get some fights, because it's not about eradicating a group of people. You just need to go and shoot stuff occasionally. Silent learned that a long time ago, and I think it's pretty good. So yeah, we are in desperate need of more content, because all the turtling is not good for the game. It's not good for the health of the game.
It's not. It's not. Turtling is no fun. But I tell you what, I've been going on a lot of roams lately. Small content. Whenever there's no war, you find content where you can, and in some cases, roams have been very exciting. If you roam silent, though, you're more likely to get taps dropped on you than else. I have noticed that there's certain places that you just are places where they just drop caps on you. I'll
Yeah,
be interested to see if somebody figures out a way to actually kill those cats,
it's
because
all content
they do it
creation.
with regularity.
It's all
Hmm.
content
But
creation,
that's,
really. I mean, like, if I'm not mistaken,
exactly.
there's always like this one guy who likes
Fleet
to camp
Warp.
the gate in Enrail in Revelation. I always forget his name, but it's like he's out there all the time camping in a Revelation. I'm like,
Warp
I mean,
drive
hello,
active.
and stuff like that. He's so close to the gate where even if you were to hot drop him, you odds are would not get him before he jumps into low set. But yeah, and someone just posted a char and kill. By the way, for those of you guys that are wondering, yeah, this is the Content Creators Corner, and we're talking about creating in-game content at the moment. Oh, by the way, for those of you that are in the know, one of the greatest content creators in all of Eden is retiring. I'm guessing as of today. So a fond farewell to our friend and fellow member in Tama, who actually retired with a bell tag. I still believe that Tama was the greatest tackle pilot in New Eden history, and I believe that he did get, what was it, 50 capital tackles in his career. So he retires with 5-0.
That's a lot.
50 capital tackles that were successfully killed, like not just tackled and then we had to let them go. Those 50 kills
Yeah,
of people
and
that he tackled.
yeah, and the one today was the most expensive one I think he's ever got. So we're talking content creators corner. I know we invited him. I'm waiting for him to actually pop into the studio, but I think we might have Rep being able to join us.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring Rap on in. I love Rap. It's been a really long time. I think he took a hiatus from the game after the Genesis Federation conflict, and I hadn't seen him since. But I saw him in the game flying around. He's part of, I believe, Black Legion Pew as of right now. And also, another guy that I thought was retired that I've been seeing flying around, but he's not actually in a corporation or alliance, is O. Miller O. That guy. Last Sunday we went on a roam, and he was scouting No, and we were trying to get some I'm not gonna lie, we were trying to get a little bit of content from No after we went over and poked the crabs in Red Sea, and didn't really work out the way that we wanted it to. We didn't really get that fight. We were outgunned. We were going to attempt to take the fight anyway with lesser guns and stuff like that, but we would have to
Enemy
separate the
ships
fleet in order to
detected.
do it. And unfortunately, Miller was there, and the guy is he's got eyes like a hawk, so he So he spotted what we were doing, and it was like, all right, we're done. Let's just jump into net and call it a day. But respect to the no pilots for that one. It's always good fun when we run into you guys out there.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So Rep's actually jumped into the studio with us, and I mean, I think you've probably had a lot of mixed reviews to a degree about your very satirical take on the topics you decide to cover. I mean, what made you pick those sort of that sort of attitude or take with your content, bro?
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Does my voice sound as good as Latara looks?
It's a high bar.
Your voice
That
certainly
is a high
sounds.
bar to meet there.
It sounds much better than mine. Like I came down with this weird cold or something like that. While I was out at the club Friday night. So I've been trying to get out of having to speak most of the episode today. So you're good.
Awesome. So Latara, was that question posed mostly at the videos I've been making?
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're up to in the background, and I don't know how much of that you'd want to go into in a public forum. But
I don't care. I'm an open book, but we can get to that after the videos.
yeah.
So basically, the reason that all started was kind of twofold. I started putting those videos out last month, and I was actually on vacation. I was at my parents' house, visiting some family, and I wasn't at like my normal studio setup, so I couldn't really do like actual voiceovers and stuff at any level of quality. And I had some free time, and I wanted to make some videos. So that was the first part of why I was using like the robot voice and everything. And then the other reason I did it was I was looking at all the other great content creators we have, and I wanted to do something different, and I haven't seen any other Eve Echoes content creators taking that kind of satirical approach. So I thought I'd try to do something that's a bit unique, and so far it's been pretty well received. So I'm pretty happy with the results I've gotten, and I'm gonna keep making those. I think that's gonna be my shtick, if you will.
Oh, I did love it. I think it was one of your PvP videos. You're like, if you're new to PvP, go to Tama, and then you warp to the Citadel, forgetting you had a crime timer. Not Citadel, the NPC.
Yeah, that was staged. I did it on purpose, just for reference. But I think it was kind of the approach was to have it like based in actual like fact. Like the information is still. It's still correct. It's still right, but it has enough of that sassy satire behind it that it's funny to all of the old heads.
Oh yeah, I think everyone in their early PvP journey, especially if you've done any PvP in low sec, you've died to gate guns or station guns. So yeah, it was entertaining when I saw that.
Good. Glad you liked it. I wasn't sure I'd be received because I was intentionally going for almost a low quality video. Like, I'm not quite sure how to describe it. I mean, you see it. It's supposed to look like it's half-assed. Something
that it probably takes a lot more effort than you think to make it look so half-assed. Because I know the kind of creator you are as well. So.
Yeah, I'm still gonna put out like legitimate videos, of course, like things like actual, fleet fights and stuff as we get into that next season of fleet fights. But I've almost considered dubbing over a fleet fight, and instead of like having everybody's comms, but dubbing over where I would be calling commands, and instead having the robot call commands.
It'd be interesting to maybe put a serious one out and then like a jokey one, like just being like, oh, what on earth's the FC doing here, and like taking the mick a bit. Because from what I gather, like the guys in know would probably take it rather well, even if you were like, oh my god, my FC is an absolute tool. What's he doing? Oh wait, that's me.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
I think our community is very much open to that whole like satirical take on things, and I just found it really entertaining. But I know your sense of humor, and you know I've always ended up cracking up in comms with you. So
oh, absolutely, yeah. I think it's well received,
Warp
and
drive active.
I'm looking forward to making some new ones. And if people have suggestions, then shoot them at me in DM or in the comments or whatever, and I'll make more. But basically, you can expect if you see one of my videos with the 101 in it, that it is just the satirical crapshoot.
yeah.
If it doesn't have that in the title, then it's a legitimate video.
Oh yeah. It was one of those that I watched the first one because I think was it Hauling 101, and I was like, on Earth's Rep making a video on hauling. I know him. Oh no, sorry. I'm currently in Tama on the Sun, by the way. So.
Oh, perfect. That's fitting for the discussion.
Oh,
yeah, but the first one was the new players PvP, and that was probably the most serious out of them all, honestly. And then I just kind of went downhill from there and got more and more weird. I thought. So I'm not sure how this is going to go, right? Because, with the content creators thing for EVE Echoes, for the actual EVE official Discord and their official content creator program, they put out those requirements for like views and subscribers and stuff. I think I hit those metrics now. But I don't know if the devs actually watch the videos, because I make enough jabs at Netties that if they watched the videos or heard the language, they probably wouldn't approve me.
Oh, fair. Yeah, it's one of those where it's can Netties take a joke? That's the question, right?
For sure, but I mean, there's a good chance they don't even pay attention to that stuff and they just look at metrics.
Oh yeah, that also is very true.
No,
but
Netties cannot take a joke. They know them.
Enemy ships detected.
Oh, Launcher, are you being toxic on the EVE Echoes Discord?
A little bit, yeah.
Nice.
But I'm over it now.
It's okay, I haven't been banned yet. I've been muted a few times, though.
Oh, jeez. It's one of those that, to be honest, they might even take the whole attitude of any publicity is good publicity, I guess.
Yeah,
True.
well, I do owe them an apology, so I at some point will apologize to them because, yeah, I was a little bit cranky that day.
Ooh. Yeah, it's one of those, isn't it? I mean, if they can take a joke, fair enough. If they can't, but like, you see it a lot on Reddit where people make a joke at someone else's expense and someone's not got a thick enough skin to be browsing Reddit. I'm not pointing any fingers here, but we see it happen quite frequently.
It does happen.
But, so, I mean, we were talking a little bit, Rep, about what you're up to in-game outside of content creation. And I know a little bit of what you're up to and what you enjoy.
Well, I'm always up to something. I think that's a fair assessment to make. And even outside of videos, I still would consider it content creation. Might not be the content that some individuals enjoy, but a good number of people do, so I think it's okay.
Detected.
Oh, for sure. I mean, conflict is good content, almost regardless. And there are a lot of people who very much take it the wrong way, and I mean, they don't find it as entertaining or whatever. But it's one of those. I think anything you're doing in game to realistically increase what we can do as players is a good thing.
Absolutely. And at the end of the day, this game is a PvP game at its heart. Whether people want to believe that or not, there's a reason you can kill people in nullsec. So if you live there, if you live there or you fly there, you're fair game. Yeah, the most recent content that's really what you're hinting at was the petition, the change.org petition.
That was you. I thought it was, but I wasn't sure.
It's it's very monumental, influential and important. Something that everyone should seriously consider, I think.
There's several of those things floating around. Which one was yours?
Well, mine was the first, and then there were some knockoffs that people made, but if you make the same joke too many times, it's not funny anymore.
That's very, very true.
But yeah, I don't think anyone's talked about it on the news. I think it was briefly mentioned on Rambo's podcast. I don't think Damon Zell's put out a video on it yet, so I'm more than happy to kind of explain the backstory if you want.
Please do.
Yeah, so it was just it was a normal day, honestly. Obviously, it's been a little while since our last war, not too incredibly long, but since the whole Gen Fed fiasco ended, No has honestly had a change of heart, I think you could say. We used to be some pretty hardcore PvPers. We definitely have that in our repertoire. Ganking people, good fleets, fighting outnumbered, all that stuff. But it's not really the content for us anymore. So we decided to settle down and really get back to our true roots of mining and ratting and industry. And so we were just trying to go about that peaceful lifestyle of being a Care Bear.
Oh my god!
And
GTF.
Unbeknownst to us, Void had in the works a plan for a long time to try to undermine our capital production. I think they think that we were building capital so we could fly them and kill people, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Honestly, we just want to build them to sell them to people so that we can make ISK, so we can buy whirlpools. So Void, they had a plan in place to undermine our capital production by taking a shot at HTP. Honestly, HTP is probably the crown jewel of our alliance. And yeah, they sent a fleet over to halt capital production. They assaulted our innocent and beloved miners, and they tried to take shields down. And it was only through some very selfless actions from the apes over at HTP they were able to fight off the invasion force, and were able to save the Citadel. But it's one of those things where we can only roll. We can't let people walk over us. We've done it for too long. We can't just roll over and take shots from them. Especially with them being the largest blue donut in the game, and their incredible industrial and military might. We're outnumbered, outgunned, out everything. So we're going to try our damnedest to come together and try to regain our abilities, and strike back. It's not what we wanted to do. We actually had Run. He bought up a bunch of Lazarus units, and he respec'd out of PvP and went Diplo 555. It still wasn't enough. Void Diplo, I don't know what they're doing. I think honestly they have an implant. They must have some general units for bullshit or something like that. But it was impossible to reason with them.
Enemy ships detected.
Just a note we'll make for our listeners. Some satire may be included in this monologue. So,
but it's darn entertaining. I was enthralled.
To anyone else wondering at home, this is Rep just off the top of his head. If he'd prepared this, none of the hosts would be able to talk right now. We'd be crying laughing.
I was muted there. I'm just saying that was epic.
And as much as these folks will try to discredit or undermine the seriousness of all of this, it really is a serious matter. and not just for No, because what are they going to do when they're done with No? I mean, if you just take a look at the map in the last, 2 months, 3 months or so, you can see a rapid expansion from Void. They're swallowing up surrounding territory. They've even publicly stated on multiple discords that phase 3 of their plan is to project power across New Eden. And I mean, really, it's headed towards kind of an in-boss sort of situation. And I think that in interest of not only not only your corpse, but New Eden as a whole and the health of the game, it's time for us to rise up, form together and strike back. And if we don't, I mean,
my gosh.
If we don't, it would be amiss to say that we would, live to regret it, because honestly, we wouldn't live. So
yeah, everybody knows that Pravi is the end boss. How are you going to displant Pravi as the end boss?
So Pravi is, without a shadow of a doubt, a very formidable opponent. But the reason that they are so renowned for that status is simply due to Void PR and false flags and things of that nature. Pravi shouldn't be discredited, but the real enemy here is indeed Void, and I urge you all to think about that. And if nothing less, you need to say his name. Remember Sun Plantain, because he died for no reason. He should not have been. He didn't even have high slots. I mean, I'm actually tearing up a little bit about this, because this guy, he actually undocked and he didn't even have high slots. All he did was charge directly into the face of danger in order to distract the enemy from his home, from HTP's home, the crown jewel. And he was able to distract them long enough for reinforcements to show up, but they weren't fast enough to save him. I mean, it was a selfless sacrifice, to say the least.
For those of you that do not know, HTP's headquarters is the zoo. Yes, I believe it is.
That's correct.
Okay, it is the zoo.
Yeah.
So they raided the zoo. And, oh jeez, please. So they raided the zoo and they killed this poor unprotected baboon. And apparently this is the Void declaration of war. So I don't know.
I mean,
don't know, but
they could have attacked. It could have attacked anybody, but Sun Plantain was, I mean, some would say akin to our Jesus, to our deity. Whichever religion you subscribe to, that he was essentially our equivalents of that. What Void did, willingly and knowingly and intentionally, was strike a holy war against Void. Against No.
Yes, well, be very careful. I mean, Void is a part of PAX, so it is oh my gosh, forgive this pun because I can't come up with something better, but it's a package deal. So if you go after Void, you have to go after all of PAC. So I definitely wish you the very best of luck in your pursuits in finding justice.
Thank you so much.
For the
absolutely.
For the fallen baboon. I went on Reddit.
I wish we had a choice.
And actually, I sent flowers to the family of the baboon. So, I.
Thank you.
Jeez, man, it's.
I don't have any information yet, but we are planning a vigil in his name. So I think that once we have some more information on that, everyone should attend and pay their respects. We can only hope that there's no sort of Void terror strike on the vigil, but at this point, I don't know what to expect.
I regret that I was not able to contact the Moxon to ask for a statement concerning these things, that these accusations. I'm pretty sure that he has, he should have something.
Warp drive active.
Unfortunately, we're not even at the point where you could call it an accusation. I think the kids nowadays would say that Void was caught in 4K.
It should create some very nice content, I would imagine.
one thing that this is definitely going to do is create content. I have to agree, and that's why we're all here. And I have to say, this is highly entertaining. It really is.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
I mean, I don't like to laugh at the death of a primate. That's
Oh no!
yeah,
We
I mean,
cannot
you can't
belittle
just
the
laugh
death
at
of
the
a primate.
yeah, someone. I
No,
mean,
you
a
can't.
primate
Absolutely
died
not.
of this.
Absolutely not.
It's too soon. I mean, if you think about Harambe and the uproar that caused, I mean, this is very similar to that sort of situation. And you know, we went too easy on it the first time around, and with Sun Plantain taking the fall next, I mean, we can't stand for this kind of cruelty.
Yeah, I mean, you know, animal cruelty in the United States will get you 10 years. Last time I checked. Ask the new.
Exactly. And I think it's our duty. Yeah, and I think it's our duty to set even higher standards in New Eden. I mean, to abuse an innocent animal, I mean, innocent or not, to abuse an animal in such a manner, I think 10 years is not nearly enough. I think it should be punished with, you know, an extermination type of event.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, I mean, as it turns out, Bird does like content, so please reach out to us. It could be fun, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that's I think that's the right move. And any other interested parties, I mean, I've said this time and time again, but my fleets are always open. I mean, every fleet I lead is MPSI. You're more than welcome to join. To all the viewers out there, if you wanna get some justice for Sun Plantain and, you know, all his brothers, then just come along.
I will be there, especially if Maddie is there, because I still need to fleet with that guy. Like, you know, he's always
Maddie is definitely going to be involved.
Yeah, awesome. Need Maddie, huh?
I've heard Mattie's already started the campaign on the rats of Innsmother.
Oh no.
Enemy ships detected.
They don't stand a chance. Maddie's probably bringing something insane and blingy and just obliterating poor rats.
Maddie works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
He lives in crab life.
His actions. Yeah, Maddie works in mysterious ways, and his actions definitely pay credit to the spirit of Sun Plantain.
Yes, well, I mean, Maddie almost caught my crew in a gay cab last week, so it's, you know, wax on, wax off. He almost got me.
Which Maddie almost, was it which Maddie or why Maddie?
I mean, why Maddie?
With Maddie, you never
I asked him why Maddie. He
never
was
know.
right there and like, why Maddie? and as soon as I got safe, like, there's Miller, there's Immortal's Rage, and then Dragon Viper pings me like, what you doing in K4? It was crazy.
On a slightly different note, there is kind of a PSA that I would like to give out to all the viewers. I'll share a screenshot here. I think it's an important lesson. This is actually on a completely serious note too. I'm not even being satirical in this regard. Let me find the channel because I have way too many discords. What I'm sharing here is a lost mail of my own. I've been playing the game since day one, and I would not consider myself to be a noob, but I did a noob thing today. I wanted to do some chores around my house and clean up, and I had to take a ship back over to Jita, so I was like, I'll just set my autopilot from Ned to Jita. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals and non-binary pals, make sure that whenever you are setting your autopilot to go back to Jita, no matter where you're going from, that you set it to prefer safer. Because if you forget to do so, you may be inadvertently routed through nullsec and blown up. So,
I'm telling you, autopilot
a big shout out to our.
Sorry, go ahead.
A big shout out to our brothers in arms from Mug. I'm assuming in Six Tax C.
Yeah, that is correct.
That would be my pirate kin there as a fellow member of Six Seal. Yeah, we do enjoy the gate camp. So.
Yep. Yeah. I think I've set the precedent over time, that I have no shame in my lost mills. I think Latara can attest to how many Balgorns I've lost. But that one right there was due to negligence. So even a senior FC Be an idiot. Be a
Enemy
troglodyte
ships
sometime. So
detected.
make sure you guys pay attention.
Oh my goodness, that's one of my favorite words. Thank you, Tahini. We're going to put you in the mix of some awesome old school tunes while we prepare for the next segment. This is Eve Talk on New Eden FM, and yeah, Semper Fire. We brought Rep on. Rep. And I'm actually looking through some of the comments in the Sound of Us because it's how we do things here. This is a community-driven show. From Maddie, only Benzie is qualified for senior content creator from all the old requirements. Well, Benzie is not only that, but Benzie is also, I think, a community manager. So it's whatever, you know. And says the own Kylo Ren, the owner of the holy sword Excalibur, or Excalibur. Wow, jeez, man, that's terrible. Um, so I mean, as far as what the questions, we did register for like the content creators tag, mostly only so that we could get Duo Omega to give to you guys, since they don't offer us a gifting function in the game where you can just buy it and give it as a reward for listening to the broadcast and stuff. Um, so that's the only reason why I even cared about content creator. But last time we didn't really get a response, so apparently our content creation isn't content oriented enough or whatever, or maybe they just don't like the fact that we don't jump on YouTube. And the only reason, for the record, that we don't do YouTube is because this is a radio show, not a podcast, and there are certain laws concerning how you reproduce content that you don't own the copyright for. So in order for us to do that, we literally have to strip the show of all the music and basically do it in more of a podcast format, which it's yeah, it would suck. Trust me. I know a lot of you guys do tune in to check out the tunes every Sunday, so we kind of just went, okay, well, if they don't want to make us content creators because we're not streaming on YouTube, but we're streaming on like SoundCloud and stuff, it was like, okay, well, fine, it's all well and good. Yeah, yeah, we'll throw some peeps in next time. I like peeps. It's really awesome to have peeps. Either that, or just I understand that if Tahini goes in and just calls them all troglodytes, it works wonders. So maybe I can hire No, so that Tahini will go in and just call everyone a troglodyte, and then we'll get content creation status. It'll be awesome. Isn't that right, Rap?
I'm sure you can start a riot. I'm sure
Yeah.
you can start a riot.
Yeah, it was so awesome. Like
Enough.
literally.
Enough people love this show from all different, walks of New Eden, regardless of political affiliation. I am quite certain that we could start a riot.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, unless we would have to edit the show down, like Damon Zell said, and it's not exactly hard to do. For those of you that would like to know, we do have the talk only segments for this show that are recorded along with everything else, so it could be done. I don't know. I might look into it, and if maybe we'll then try to run a YouTube channel and see how many people actually go and watch it. It's like support your friendly neighborhood radio show. Yes. So I know it's going to be boring without the music, but yeah. Thank you, Tahini. I very much appreciate it.
Fleet orbit.
And
Do you not remember the Save Mackenzie campaign that went on at the end of Pantheon?
oh my
I
god.
think that was spearheaded by Klansmen.
That was no pilots that actually did that, and I appreciate them to this day. Um, Towards the end of the Pantheon war, I think most of the people in New Eden know that I'm fiercely loyal to whichever organization I am in at that point in time, and maybe it's part of the fact that I come from a military family, and so having that discipline and like being willing to essentially give your life for for your country or for your allegiance is part of that. War, I believe that J Factor was still doing his school thing, and we were it was pretty much myself, Stony. We had Showtime, and we had a few other FCs that were doing the majority of the campaigns. Most Monday and Tuesdays, it was like me and Stony were spending like 8 hours together with fleets along with the GenFed FCs. And so, somewhere along the lines, as Pantheon was collapsing and more people were quitting, they were like, "Save Mackenzie. She's willing to go down with the ship." And I didn't want to, go on Reddit and tell Clansman that he was right, but he was kind of right. He was kind of right. I stuck around until eventually, I was high command in Goonswarm. So Happy Bees, once Happy Bees had separated from Pantheon, all the alliances had gone their separate ways. And the truth is, I probably still would be there, but the biggest problem was that I was the fleet admiral, and they basically took my PvPers away. So it's like, I was told by R1 that they needed leadership, so lead them, right? And I'm like, okay, fine. So here's what we're going to do. And lo and behold, most of my PvPers had left because he was like, oh, we're not going to fight right now. I'm like, why are we not fighting? Because we're trying to reach agreements with silence. And literally during the negotiations, I think that Beck and Michael JD basically gave our Diplo the finger, concerning terms of surrender and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, F that, we're going to war. I was literally in my Meliodas mode. I'm like, he brought me the response, he posted this in leadership chat. I'm like, okay, screw it, I'm going to war. And they were like, no, you can't go to war. So my PvP pilots, they're feeling like, seriously, guys, when someone basically insults you, right? If you're a PvP pilot, if you're a real PvP pilot, the first thing you're saying is, well, I guess we're gonna do Diplo with our guns then, right? And that was the way I looked at it. It was like, well, I guess we're gonna go back and fight silent then. And they basically told me we couldn't fight silent, or they told me that we could not go and fight silent, and I lost even more PvP pilots. So so by the time it was all said and done, I pretty much quit myself because I'm like, okay, so I'm your fleet admiral, but I don't have a fleet. I'm like, okay, I don't have fleets. My FCs are leaving. Okay, I'm done. I'm finished. So no, I remember the same.
It's impressive how quickly an alliance can go from everything's normal to failure cascade.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was when my corporation were starting to send me messages saying we don't like the direction that this is going because Bell is a PvP organization, and they started complaining to me when that happened. I was like, okay, I'm out, I'm done. All before it was all trying to take care of things at the alliance level, right? But when my own members started to quit and my sister was not playing the game anymore, I'm done. I'm finished. and we quit. That was when we quit Happy Bees, and it was pretty much a wrap. But yeah, alliances, it's kind of funny. Usually, it only takes pulling on one thread, and then an alliance will
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say it, but it's always Sov related, right? It's Sov related. It was Sov related.
I disagree. Maybe in a lot of alliances. I mean, every alliance has a string, right? And you pull on that string, it will unravel. Every single one of them. Every single group. Yeah, you pull that string and they'll failure cascade. I mean, you look at GenFed, it was Sov. You look at Pantheon, it was Sov. If you look at Void, for example, it's VCB. When they realize they don't have money, their people will quit. When you look at No, we have a really...
I don't think realistically Gen failed over Sov on the most part. It sort of broke from the top down in a way, and I think people lost faith in their leadership.
But I think that perpetuated from the Sov being hit. Like the root issue was always there, but I think whenever pressure started to get applied via Sov, is whenever it cascaded.
Well, to be honest, the fleet admiralty had already said that they were willing to fight until the last ship, and we had deployed all of our FCs. Most of them were in the north, so I was one of the few ones that was still in the south trying to do defenses because I was in the middle of a college semester at the time. The problem was that the people who were left behind in the South who were still down there, it was mostly Care Bears. No offense, guys, if you're listening. It was mostly Care Bears. And so when I called for a fleet, they wouldn't, like a home defense fleet or something, it was really difficult to get people to just join in and come in for a fleet. And because all the PvPers, the ones who wanted to be doing it, were deployed in the north, and they were forward attacking no and silent. So it was not until some problems arose with with yes, leadership. So that was between Mama Saurus and the FCs and stuff, and
Yeah.
things kind of went that's where things kind of went sideways, I guess. But what Latara is saying is accurate. Saab was one thing, but a lot of us were willing to let it all burn. I mean, we lost the Citadel in Mu. I mean, Silent and No actually honored us by fighting us for it. Granted, they brought some really heavy artillery, but it was great. You know what I mean? I'm like, at least when our Citadel blew up, it blew up being attacked by 16 capital ships. I can live with that. But
Right.
but it wasn't really that. That didn't kill our resolve. What killed our resolve was basically when all of our fleet commanders, the entire fleet basically just said, well, we're leaving. And I was at a gig, my friends. I was at a gig. And one of my good friends, Toby, from Noir, sends me a message saying, "I'm sorry that it turned out this way." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" When you've been running around all day and you haven't had time to even look at your phone, and I'm at the gas station about to go to my gig, and I haven't been online all day, and he just sends me a message saying, "I'm sorry that it turned out this way." And I'm like, "What?" Like, literally,
What are you talking about?
you have to ask someone. I have no idea what you're talking about. It's kind of like someone saying "I'm sorry," and then you're like, "Sorry for what?" And you turned around and they've just like slit your dog's throat or something. It was
Yeah.
that kind of sorry. It was like, oh my gosh.
On the topic though of alliances disbanding and the strings you have to pull to make it happen. We talked about gin string and pants string and everything. I'm sure a lot of the viewers would be interested in that No actually has a string you can pull. Very easy string, and we would collapse immediately. I mean,
Yeah, you
immediate
tell your
disbandment.
PvP pilots that they can't fight. That would depend. That would
No,
disband
no, it's even easier. All you have to do is contract Tahini a trillion ISK, and he will disband the alliance. Just 1 trillion ISK, and no will be gone. So yeah, he'll take bribes in that manner. Honestly, everybody in No is really corrupt. Tahini will take a bribe to disband the alliance. Canopus will take a bribe to start a war. Run actually is taking bribes too. He stepped down as executor. I think a lot of people are. He retired and now he rats. He's a grabber. So all you have to do is contract him some like a carrier or something, and he'll probably cause some drama. In my case, I too am corrupt. I've recently went through and kind of secured the No Discord and everything. But if you guys want to get spies in there or have an account in the No Please Stop Discord, 10 billion ISK, and I'll get you line member access. For 25 bill, I'll put you in as an officer. For 50 bill, I'll throw you in directly into CEO channels and cap channels. And then for 100 bill, I'll just make you Tahini. Like, I have the power. I'll make you Tahini. So, guys, if you're interested in that,
No, it's for
I am
sale.
extremely corrupt.
No,
Just
it's for sale.
DM me.
You heard it here on New Eden FM, guys. No is for sale. You can buy it. For the low
Yep.
price
Everything
of
has a price.
100 billion, you can have
It
the
is a
no fleet.
mercenary alliance, right? It's a mercenary
I mean,
alliance.
technically,
that makes
you
sense.
know,
It would be
like,
for
dude,
sale.
like, it's how much do you think that, how much do you think, like Mel would accept to, well, hold on, Mel would never disband Burr. Would you, Mel? Mel wouldn't disband
Oh,
Burr. Mel is too
everyone
bloodthirsty.
has
Mel is
everyone has a
bloodthirsty.
price. Everybody has a price, and that price isn't always money, but everyone has a price.
The question I have for you, Rep, is when you say make someone Tahini, does the skill as an FC, the accounts, and the ability to crush alliances, does that come in the package, or do you just mean become Tahini on Discord? Because I'm sure he'd pay someone for that.
So those things can be included. It's not a full package deal. Those would be add-ons. But that can all be worked into the deal. Just DM me and we can plug all that in as well.
Oh my gosh, Mel, you suck.
I told you, everyone has a price. It's not always money, but apparently in Meliodas' case it is. So
Yeah, wow, man. He says, I will totally disband. There's a price. Isk it is. Just.
I mean, really, on that topic, Meliodas, we could try to do some two birds, one stone kind of thing, because I know I can speak for, like, Tahini on this one. Like, you know, we don't really care about our SOV. Some of us don't even want to know to have SOV. I'm sure we can work something out, because I think Meliodas probably feels the same way. So we could do something where, like, Burr contracts no to destroy all Burr SOV, and no contracts Burr to destroy all no SOV. And then both parties are happy.
Yeah, and or what we can actually do is we can actually just I don't know, for like 100 dreads you can have all our stuff. Just toss them our way for 100 dreads.
See,
you can have
that's
all of our
the
stuff.
issue. Maybe for somebody else they'll take you up on that, but the thing is we don't want SOV. So
No.
that
I'm
just
not
sounds like a
talking
bad
about
deal.
you. Not you. I'm talking. There are probably people out there that would love. I mean, we do have some prime real estate out there in Esoteria. So, I mean, for 100 dreads, we could probably work out a deal.
I mean, Mackenzie, just think this through with me, okay? We can have some sort of partnership, okay? I know it's going to be a while before Drone Space comes out, but just envision this with me, right? Brand new content, Drone Space. Hopefully they let us drop SOV there, all of that, right? Everyone in the galaxy is going to want to do that, right? I mean, it's new content. We can get rid of all of our respective SOV, both in Burr and No, and we can blockade Drone Space and be like bridge trolls. Like, if you want to get in there, you got to pay us, and nobody is allowed to drop SOV.
I mean, very true. Very, very true. Technically, we could probably get away with it too.
Kidding?
Yeah, we could probably get away with it.
I'm gonna go drop SOV there just because.
Then we would have to destroy it. I mean, it's in the rules. You got to read the fine print.
Wow.
Well, I'm saying somebody needs to have SOV there. Why
That's the
not? That'd
thing.
be a
If the Merc groups unite in defense of Drone Space, we can keep anybody from having SOV there.
Except for us.
No, because we don't want SOV. So why would we want it there?
No, we wouldn't drop it. It would literally just be like control the area so no one else could have SOV there. It's like we burn it all.
Exactly.
It's like dropping an atom bomb. You can't live there for
Telling
like.
you, the new faction. I'm telling you, the new faction is going to have ships. These ships are going to be in all classes, which means capital anomalies in order to build the capital.
Exactly.
We are the
And we
only
can
ones.
gate camp the whole thing. Yes,
You have to have
but that's
SOV.
the point, Alondra. We can keep anybody from doing it. No. We can keep anybody from doing it.
No, why
Medis will drop.
anybody do
Medis,
it when you can
yeah.
be the only one to have it?
Because it's even better this way, and hear me out. If we keep anybody from being able to access that content, people are going to be pissed off, right? And what do people do when they're pissed off? They fight.
Right.
It's-
And we
it's
could
the-
drop
it's-
the new caps on them if we are the only ones with them. That's what I'm
It's
saying.
the drone
That's
wars.
what I'm
It's the
saying.
drone wars.
Oh my god.
Yes, but you should be the only one with them. That's what I'm saying.
It's fine. It's fine.
The market. We could become rich beyond our.
No, we can't do that because you know what people are going to do? They're going to want to sell that stuff to make a profit, and then everyone else in the galaxy gets to access the new content. The idea is gatekeeping the new content so nobody can enjoy it, which will piss everybody off, and then they'll fight us.
The thing about being a gatekeeper is you have to. There's no point in keeping the gate if nobody is benefiting from it.
But we are benefiting from it because they're going to fight us and they're going to die.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's blood for the blood thrower, or for the blood god. Skulls for the skull thrower.
Did you really just mess up that Warhammer?
I did. I fixed it though. I actually prepared some inspirational speeches to the troops over at No. If you'd like to hear one of them.
Go for it. Do it.
Sure. Just give me a second to pull up my notes. You know, just kind of fill the space there.
Oh no. Where's the elevator music button? No. Where's my elevator music? Hang on a second. It should be fine. While rep.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
No, it's fine.
Getting there.
Oh yeah. Here we go. 1 second. Elevator music off. Go for it.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. HTP, DBL, MILF, Pew, etc. We all want to help one another. Capsuleers are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. And this world has room for everyone. And New Eden is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded New Eden with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives us abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much, we feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent and all will be lost. The Discord and the Jump clone have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who hear me, I say do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to void. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate. Only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery. Fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke, it is written, the kingdom of God is within man. Not one man, nor a group of men, but in all men. And you, the people, have the power to create dreadnoughts, the power to create carriers, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then, in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future, and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free New Eden, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all capsuleers' happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite against void.
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess I am.
That was epic.
I guess
That was freaking bloody epic.
Rep, you're a wordsmith, and yeah, I've read other pieces of your work, but that might be one of your best.
Wow.
To say, I am impressed. I like Void, and that makes me want to go shoot him. Oh my gosh.
Okay, my AP's already set to Kenora. Let's go.
Perfect. Just go ahead and change that. Set it straight for 9OQ. Park a freaking Megathron in there. I know how you work, Latara.
It's been Nagas lately. I've yeeted 4 Taloses in Tama today while we've been on air.
Wow, that was. I just have to say thank you for that. That was incredible, man.
Anytime. I have more too, but I'm not gonna. I'll save that for next time.
Definitely. You are welcome back anytime.
Yes, well, according to Meliodas, he's like, always have Rep on the show. He's effing awesome. So,
Yeah, I agree.
Do we do the unthinkable and make Rep an official host?
Oh gosh. Oh dear.
That's your prerogative, but I'll say that I'm happy to entertain at any point.
My goodness. And of course, if you guys well, I mean, obviously everyone has comments in the Sound of Us. If you have questions, you can also post them there. And my goodness, what is it with? So, I'm looking at this speech that JB posted. What is it with dictators and their love of those funny mustaches? Just asking.
Funny mustache?
Yes, funny mustaches. Charlie Chaplin.
Funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it with dictators and their love of those funny little micro mustaches?
I don't know.
I think it's less about the being dictators and more about it being that was kind of the societal like style back then. Like a lot of men had mustaches like that, and they just also so happened to be dictators, and so it became popularized by those dictators. If that makes sense.
I mean, it does make sense. It's just kind of weird. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that's no longer the style because, sorry, my boyfriend or husband would have to shave that shit. It's just
Yeah.
um,
Mhm.
that is not for me.
Uh, uh,
Okay.
uh, well, I mean, it tickles whenever you kiss a man with a beard and a mustache.
Well, I mean,
It's
yeah, but
it's a different experience.
it's fine as long as it's not
And
that, just not
yeah,
that
well, I mean,
mustache.
you don't want to be tickled in that way. I got you.
I mean,
Well, I mean, think about it. If you see it, but the whole time, even if you close your eyes and you're kissing him, the tickle in that particular way is just going to you're just only going to be thinking about that fucking must.
So to be perfectly honest, I think I've been well recognized as a troll within New Eden. Like, I have my serious moments. I think people know when I'm being serious because I change my tone and everything. But this may come to a surprise to you. I'm a troll in real life as well.
Well,
I
I mean,
mean,
a lot
you
of
might
people are
not have
trolls in
expected
real
that.
lives. I'm just saying.
And on the topic of mustaches, for a while I had a mustache, and my Tinder profile even hinted at it. I mean, obviously, my pictures had it as well, but I think I had a line in there that said, "Currently have a mustache, so it may tickle when you find a place to sit." So that kind of goes in with the whole, tickly mustache thing that Alondra was mentioning. Just thought I'd bring that up.
My gosh, did you see what Tahini just posted? So there's a direct correlation to how big your beard is and how good in FC you are. Oh man.
Then I must have a lot of progress to go because I am not currently allowed to have a beard. So once I am, I mean, I'm going to be stellar. You better watch out, Tahini.
Oh man. I mean, at least you.
Let us all know when you
Jeez.
start growing one, because we're all going to need to know to prepare for that, because
Right.
event.
You know, I guess I'm just fucked then. I have no beard.
Maybe there's like a different. Maybe there's a different metric. There's probably a different metric for women.
There's a different metric for us because we don't get the beards and but yeah.
I think it's probably safe if we don't let the sound of us start discussing what that metric is, though, because it could go south pretty quick.
Oh dear Lord, yes. Let's not, people.
Jeez. Ich habe keine Bart. I'm sad now. Anyways, well, I don't even know where to go from there. Oh, gosh.
Rep definitely does have the ability
I'm
to
sorry?
manage to say something that renders the whole room speechless.
Yeah, I think I've got a personality that either makes people hate me or love me, and there's rarely any in between. So,
I know
yeah.
how that goes. I know how that goes.
Yep. So the sound of us is starting to go south.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there is
I'll change the topic. Latara,
Oh gosh.
you mentioned
No.
this isn't. I'm not going somewhere south. I'm not. This is completely innocent. This is game related. That being said, if you want to come over to my place later tonight, that's okay, Latara. But anyways, the Naga. You mentioned the Naga was your new Megathron. Why have you chosen the Naga? I have reasons as well. I'll tell you right now. My go-to choice, as you once knew, was the Prophecy Command for Blitz fleets. But I've really moved from that. I mean, I still fly from time to time, but I've moved from that to the Naga and the Oracle. I'm just curious, what our mutual thoughts are on that, and if there's any differences or similarities.
I mean, I started flying a Naga because it got added to our doctrine. So I was like, all right, I'll get one. And I sort of had a blast flying it in a couple of the fleets we'd run. And I was like, I think I can do some stuff with this solo. Like it's a fun ship for gate camping because you can pretty much be safe at range, and if you overprop, there isn't much that can actually catch you. other than certain frigates and overprop NATOs. It was just like the range and sheer hitting power, and I've been having a blast with it. I ran around with my alt in a Naga 1 because she's only Tech 8, but taking the two of them out, it's hilarious how many kills I get with 0 tackle.
Oh, even the baseline Nagas are incredibly impressive. I mean, the assault battlecruisers in general. I don't know if I shared any of my screenshots with you, but these things get ridiculous. Both my Naga 2 and my Oracle 2 can do. I think the Naga's at 2,800 DPS colds and the Oracle's at like 29, and they both go over 5k hot. Like, it's ridiculous for a battle cruiser to get this kind of damage.
Yeah, like my Naga 3 is sitting at 2,000 DPS cold at 95 kilometers. It's vicious.
Have you ventured into the dangerous world of implants?
I have. I've been running high power coils, primarily on the Nagas for the extra range. Means I can switch a tracking comp for a third mag stab and still maintain a decent chunk of range.
Yeah.
It's also rather useful on the Talos and Megathron. The extra armor resistance allows you to basically drop a resistance module.
Gotcha. There's actually a fun thing about the thermal one. I believe that's the one that gives you 20% passive like armor resist bonus if you have below 30 heat. Something I'm sure you know, I like to experiment with stuff and just try to make things work that shouldn't work. It's always been one of my favorite pastimes in the game. And one of my favorite metrics to test things has always been YOLO a ship directly at 0 into bad hair day and see what happens. And so I thought, what if I took a Harbinger Guardian, and put the rail implant on it? Because you didn't get that extra passive 20%. I had ridiculous armor resist on my Harbinger Guardian that it could tank bad hair day essentially indefinitely until it caps out, which it has perfectly fine cap because it's armor. And I was like, okay, so I figured out the tank part. Now what about DPS? And so this isn't, technically soloing because I don't actually shoot with I don't shoot with the Harbinger. It's still not technically soloing because I have Harbinger there, but I fit out my Vindicator to just be absolute glass cannon. Like, it has a large armor repair, and that's it. Everything else is pure DPS. And the thing can tank bad hair day at 0 with the Harbinger Guardian next to it. So you sit there with like a 5k cold, Vindicator and just shred it while the Harbinger Guardian is keeping you safe. It's ridiculous. And I'm looking forward to seeing what the community as a whole comes up with and what direction we're going to go as far as the new metas and eventual doctrines that implement implants.
For sure. I mean, probably be nasty on something like a Hyperion, for example, as well. Like, being able to have the extra resist on top of maybe throwing a general unit on there for armor rep amount. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Hyperion's repping close to 3,000 per cycle on a large rep.
I've done the math on that thing already, and you can pass over like a 10k DPS mitigation with like implants it out, Hyperion and everything. It's insane. You're not going to be doing a lot of DPS, but it's insane.
I mean, you're not looking to do a lot of DPS with a build like that. You're looking to outlast and basically chew through their cap by making them rep.
Well, speaking of cap, as I'm sure you know, my favorite ship is the Bowborn, right?
Oh, yes.
That missile implant, I forget which one specifically it was, I forget its name. There's a missile implant that has a passive where you do, I believe, 20% of your damage instead is just a newt onto the enemy. So I'm planning on designing my 13 newt Balgorn, which is a missile Balgorn, running that implant along with general unit NOS with my Blaze Nanocore. And I'll have my 13 newt Balgorn that, isn't doing a ton of DPS, but, you have 13 newts on you, so...
Yeah, good luck surviving. Yeah, there's definitely some insane things, and I don't think many people have looked outside the box yet of utilizing non-standard ideas for their implants on ships like they're not intended for use on, like you say, like a missile Balgorn.
Right. I mean, I already got the armor Logi implant for my Balgorn because Logi Balgorn is going to be a thing. So that's cool as well. I actually was going really hard on Ego Traverse. I'm sure a lot of these viewers that participated in that may have gone against me a few times. My goal was to get to top 3 because I was hoping they would do a custom nanocore at the end. But it turns out they're just going to do metals, so I stopped caring about it. But if it was going to be a custom nanocore, I was going to ask, like I shit you not, if I ever get the opportunity to ask for a custom nanocore, I'm going to ask for a Logi Balgorn nanocore. I want a nanocore that gives a primary attribute to either remote armor or remote shield on the Balgorn.
That might get a little busted, though. That's the only thing.
But it won't, and here's why it won't. Because it's going to be limited. I think they only give out, 10 of those whenever, Corps win the custom nanocore thing? So, I mean, it's not enough in the game to, really be busted. Sure, in some small engagements or whatever, but it's not going to have a New Eden-wide impact. But it'll be a meme for sure. It will confuse the hell out of people.
Oh, for sure. That's kind of one of your specialties, I know. I know we've theory crafted a lot of builds for Doctrine or just can we do this thing, and some of the things you've come up with in particular have been insane and somehow function.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of ideas, good ideas, but they are, and I'm not even opposed to talking about them because the likelihood that it happens is very low. I'll throw one of them out. Honestly, if somebody does this, I'll make a video on you. I don't care. I'll do favors for you. I don't know. I mean, let your mind run wild on that last comment. But the remote armor implants, right? We don't have armor's always been in a bad place in the game, right? It's been bad. The last balance patch that affected armor brought small and medium reps up to par with the shield reps. It's a good trade-off. But the large reps have always been bad, and resistances are bad as well. Just as a baseline for all the armor adaptives. And so we've seen it a few times. There's been a couple entities that have done armor fleets. They can be fun, but they're not ideal when you get to the large scale. And I proved that in a video that I had posted a while back of me FCing a fleet for a battle in 7 kick, where I think we were outnumbered 3-1 or 2-1, something like that. And we crushed all the armor guys in a brawl, which you would think is where armor would excel. But the remote armor implants, that is broken. And the reason why, I don't know, I haven't verified yet if it stacks. But I believe the level 1 passive on that is that whoever you are repairing gets bonus resistance. If that stacks, I haven't verified that yet, but if it stacks, you can have a fleet of glass cannon Vindicators or glass cannon anything that's max freaking resistance because they have a bunch of armor logi on them. And if you get that thing up to level 45, your active gives the targets you're repairing a DCU. There's essentially a DCU for your target, 30-second DCU. If you actually had a coordinated group, you could do some very broken stuff with that. Very broken stuff.
Oh, for sure. It's like I said, I think we've talked implants till we're blue in the face on this show, and I don't think we've really looked at even what are the ridiculous combos if you manage to get everyone in this or do this or that or next thing. It definitely sounds like there is some absolutely batshit crazy things you can get away with, and I am very interested to see how the meta shifts. I mean, I'm of the opinion that certain things about implants are very broken.
Every single one has the potential to be broken if used properly, and I'm excited about that. Honestly, people complain. You'll take a look at the high-powered rail one or focus crystal and stuff. People be like, "Oh, this is broken. It's ridiculous." Barrage getting 55k DPS max, but it's almost not a bad thing because to get to that broken level, you have to have a pretty high level investment. and you're still going to lose whenever you come up against an actual fleet. It's not going to have that big of an effect on like a CTA unless you're coordinating. And that's the thing. Any implants with a coordinated fleet can be broken. And so it opens up the meta. We don't necessarily have to see every single major alliance using essentially the same cookie cutter doctrine with only small changes. Like someone could come out of the woodwork with something that is completely different, completely unique, and it actually be super viable.
Yeah, I mean, Tahini's just said, aren't they nerfing them soon? I believe we've already had that nerf that was mentioned.
We had a change, a small nerf / buff, but I'm sure we'll see more as time goes on. I'm sure Netties didn't think certain things through all the way.
Oh, was it all of them,
sure.
or was it only like a specific line?
It was only a couple. I know they reworked the missile ones and the barrage implants, but the nerf to barrage implant wasn't really a nerf. If I recall correctly, they just lowered the total charges you had by like 2 or 3 or something. So you still have the same DPS, just for a little bit less, like less time.
Cannon barrage repression, I think, got a debuff as well.
Yeah, they modified the continuous ramming, which is honestly my favorite thing that they added to the game. Not because of what it does, just its name.
Jeez.
Must have been very made up when they introduced industrial penetration then, Rep.
Oh, that's another good one.
Parallel line.
Yeah, that's
Good industrial penetration.
exactly. I mean, sign me up, honestly. If there's any viewers out there who want to hook me up with industrial penetration, slide in my DMs. We can talk about my dick salsa.
I don't know if you were. I don't know if you were listening when Mackenzie was reading through those patch notes, and I think every single one of the hosts had read them or heard the patch notes, and we all knew what was coming. And she just goes, and industrial. Next music break, she's yelling at us all, going, "You all knew that was coming, didn't you?" And we're all going, "Yes."
It makes you wonder if, is NetEase oblivious to it? Or do they not have somebody that, takes a look at this?
Yeah, well, I had 3 people in comms who could have warned me that was coming, and they still didn't. Let me walk right off.
Well, why would they?
It makes for good content.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
No, general units added in, it's insane. But, I mean, any of them are insane. You take a look at even without the implant, just the general units themselves. You take an RB Covops and you throw on a level 8 general implant for, tracking disruption power, and you could bring down the optimal of any ship to less than 1.
Yeah, I saw someone who did some testing with one of those. I think it was like a tracking computer strength increase 7, and like a range fit Roke had its range reduced to under 6.
It's ridiculous. And honestly, if there's one thing I change, and there's a lot of things I like to change about youth, but if there's one thing I could change to take an existing ship and make it viable, it would be the Scorpion. Take the Scorpion and give it, maybe reduce the bonus that it has to tracking disruption a little bit, but give it the same bonus to all of the E-War. Maybe nerf its DPS or its tank or something, but give it a unilateral bonus to all E-War at the same level for all of it, and let that just be an E-War ship. And then you throw in those general units, and you actually have an incredibly viable ship for every level of application, whether it's small game, CTA, etc. That would just be a dang good ship.
Yeah, because I think the Scorpion's issue right now is it has pretty much 1 less high than most battleships and 1 less low with an extra mid, and it's
lackluster in every regard, except for it can do good guidance disruption on missile ships, and it's okay.
And then it's just keep your speed up, and you're probably taking minimal damage if you've got enough logi on the field anyway. So
yeah, that's so niche. You're gonna fly a Scorpion and tracking disrupt or guidance disrupt a couple Ravens. Okay, I mean, but if you gave it a unilateral E-War bonus, that'd be dope.
I mean, mean, scorpions are really tanky though. Well, they're tanky along with the rattlesnakes, and they're
Oh yeah.
more interesting in EO where we actually have ECM, and you have to figure
Yeah.
out how you want to fit them. You know what I mean? Like, you could easily beef up the tank, but then you'd be trading off like the EOR capabilities of the ship, or you could go ahead and you can armor tank it and maximize the EOR capabilities. But it's such a fantastic ship, and I was really disappointed when I saw the version of it, how it just doesn't feel good to me
Well,
because I've never flown one.
it's it's interesting that you mentioned ECM because with that new automatic defense implant, you put that on like an arbitrator cobops or something, and it's essentially ECM. You're forcing your target to de-lock you, and that's an inadvertent buff to things like the Celestis. I forget the name of it, but the frigate that does sensor dampening as well. Like it actually gives those ships somewhat of a viable role in a fleet if you structure your fleet around
I
that
completely agree
implant.
with you, but I mean, I'm just disappointed because if you remember, I'm not sure if you were here on day one, right? And you remember when the
Mhm.
Scorpions first launched, it's like the ECM bonuses were still in the code, so they dropped it in the game. And when everyone else was flying around in Caracals, I was flying around in my Blackbird, awaiting the day when we got ECM. And then they dropped it, and it was just so bad. It was so bad. And the answer was that they gave was that we're removing it because ECM isn't in the game. 2 years later, they turn around and put it on an implant and make it special. I'm like, guys,
Yeah, definitely bad implementation.
guys.
I'm glad we have it in the game, but that's terrible implementation.
Yeah. Oh. So apparently, what Damon Zell was saying, we forgot to cover this during the New Eden News segment. The amount of cargo containers on grid has been restricted, so you can't put like 200 plus boxes on the gate. I'm gonna go on
I
record.
know.
I'm gonna go on record and
Ah,
say that
so good.
we had nothing to do with that. During that day we had a CTA, and
Oh yeah,
and
for
I think
sure.
AOA dropped all those boxes on the gate. In fact, Mel kind of yelled at him and told him, "Hey guys, stop dropping all these boxes. What are you doing?" I mean, we were prepared to go in and die. We kind of figured that we were gonna die, but we at least thought we were gonna get a good fight out of it. But because of all the lag that we
Right.
had out there, we didn't even get that. So like now everyone is cranky by the time we were done with that fleet, and we're biting at each other in the FC lounge because we're
Yeah.
all crabby because we got up early and didn't get any good content. So I'm kind of glad that that got implemented. To be honest with you, if I had it my way, dropping anything during an active confrontation would just be, rip. Like, but
If you have a combat timer, I think you shouldn't even be able to drop you should be able to drop stuff. But I'm glad they changed it. I'm glad they reduced it. I don't know what the number is now, actually, but
to be
it's good
honest,
that it was reduced. That's one less war crime for Void to commit. They can still kill monkeys, apparently, but not being able to drop boxes, that's cool.
well, I mean, the thing about it is, I can understand why dropping is important. Even during, I mean, you remember those really long battles in K4 that we had during the end of the Pantheon
Yeah,
era, when
that's a valid point.
everyone was running out of fuel, and you had to fight scepters to go and bring you guys fuel, or you had to loot them out of the wrecks and stuff because there were it's like the battles were going on for like 8 hours sometimes. We were on grid for 8 hours, and so fuel conservation became a big thing. Um, to be honest with you, I kind of miss those days. Even though I know that we were actively fighting and it was kind of rough and everything, it was actually a lot of fun and it made things feel more dynamic. You felt like you were actually a part of a huge ship battle where you have to refuel because at that point
Yeah,
in
got
time,
people running resupply ops and stuff.
pretty much. And I mean, we just
Enemy fleets like cut off the reinforcements, cut the supply lines.
yeah, we
Yeah,
we had all those
yeah,
things
it
going
adds a
on.
whole new aspect to it. Yeah,
Yeah, and
it's a little
well,
bit different than just attack fleet at point A to take point.
I mean, Tahini is right
That's
about the two things
really
that
simple.
need to drop: fuel and giving warp ends. Very true, but I think it tends to be a little bit more dynamic when you have like a scepter or one of your cloakies do a warp in for you. Just my opinion. and then you just make a bookmark and have them bounce around. Silent is really good at
Yeah.
doing that. You know, to accredit Master Yoda for some of his tactics, but we don't have the things like one thing I really wish that we had maintenance hangars in this game. Where there are ships that are designed with that purpose in mind to help your ships to be able to restock and refuel by accessing the maintenance hangars, which is something that carriers do in EVE Online, but of course we don't have maintenance hangars in EVE Echo, so you know, oof. But either way, I mean, yeah, I'm glad that the cans got restricted. That was kind of bad. Um, it wasn't really making for good gameplay, and I'll be honest with you, having lag and stuff didn't really help people anyways. It didn't help during the ACR war, if you remember back when they would sometimes drop cans to get
Yeah,
us to lag
it's
out and stuff.
damaging both
It didn't
parties.
really do anything. We still won that battle, and you guys still won that battle that night when we or that morning when we got up and we were fighting. It doesn't really do anything except it makes the loss hurt more because you know, if I'm gonna lose, let me lose and I can actually see myself. Unlike that time Michael JD focus fired me on grid and I was black screened and I came back dead in a pot after having to relog like 3 times. Trust me, it would have been more satisfying to at least watch my ship explode, knowing that the guy was like focus firing me. But you know, it is what it is. Oh, good luck on that one, Tahini. I haven't heard from Banana in months. He dropped in one day and he messaged me, and that was kind of sort of it. I was running around that weekend. I was really busy, and I didn't get to talk to him. So, yeah, I mean, um, you can, I don't know, I don't know. But we had some really fun memories back in Pantheon, like the time that we actually found Tahini, I think in Knoll, um, and STJ went rabbit, literally. We caught him, I think, off a planet or at the sun or something, and Tahini was caught, and STJ was like, "We caught Tahini! Everyone, kill Tahini! Kill Tahini! Kill Tahini! Focus fire on Tahini!" I'm like, damn, what's your deal with this guy? Like
It
he was like ravenous. You know what I mean? It was
it happens sometimes. I mean, Tahini, he's been known to get lost. You know, I'm pretty sure someone has a clip out there of him being confused. He's like, "Where's my fleet at? Where's my fleet at?"
oh yeah,
And I believe they're
we
like,
saw it
"Tahini,
once.
we're at the
It
sun."
was the first time I heard Dragon Viper. We're at the sun. We're at the sun. But you know, just good. It's good fun, and
If you want to hear Tahini truly lost, though, you need to hear Tahini leading a ratting fleet.
oh my gosh, I mean, um, I'm surprised
I
he's still not
oh man,
riding fleet.
there was a time we were in Innsmother. There was a time we were in Innsmother, as no, and we were resetting a base or something. I think I had Tahini and Run there. Maybe it was one or the other. I don't remember which. Maybe both were there. And I was like, I used to make a business out of doing base resets. You know, people would pay me to come and reset their enemy's base or whatever. And so I was really familiar with the process. I was like, guys, while we're here, help me reset the space. Like, okay, sure. So we warp there and we're resetting the base, and they're like freaking out because they see T10 base anomaly and they think like this is some dangerous stuff. And they're like trying to call focus fires, treating it like a CTA, getting confused. People are leaving the bubble and stuff. It's like no loose is all its skill. Every PvP mechanic and skill that there is and know is out the window when it comes to ratting.
My goodness. Well, we have some really fun memories. And I don't know where the game is really going at this point. It's it really has been this. It's an odd
I
paradox.
can tell you where it's going, Mackenzie.
Oh my goodness. You're probably
The-
if you're gonna say like straight downhill, you're probably right. But
No, content is coming, Mackenzie.
this
The game is going to war.
or,
Going to
my,
war
the
at?
next great server war. Really?
Exactly. Yeah.
We're going after the end boss Pravi? Is that what you...
No, the other end boss.
Oh
They're-
no.
they're- Oh gosh,
apparently,
dang it.
yeah, the baboon killers.
Oh,
Exactly.
oh
Baboon
no.
killers.
Remember his name, Sun Plantain.
Oh my goodness, that is going to start the next great propaganda. And with that one, I do believe we're almost out of time for this week's episode. In fact, we're actually over time, but it's all well and good because I mean it's all about having fun, right? I don't care. But I know that that some of you guys would like to go out and get some content on this. Well, what it depends on where you are in the world. Like it's almost 11 p.m. I believe in Germany right now. That might be
Wow.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost 1 p.m. for me, so I think it would be. Math is hard. I don't remember what the offset is. Yeah, it's late.
Well,
There's 7
about 10
hours
o'clock, I
ahead.
think.
They're 7 hours ahead of us. I know because all my friends, like my gaming friends, are either British or German at this point. So
Pretty cheeky.
yeah. I mean, I have more friends in the EU now. I think it's quite nice. Who knows? Maybe it means I see you guys soon. I'll go over there and visit. Um, so who knows? Either way, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the show. And yeah, let's start a riot. Let's get us a content creators tag so that we can start giving you guys Duo Omega, which is more important right now than anything, especially considering we can't just like buy the Omega. If we were able to just buy Omega, we would just buy Omega and go, okay, fine. You know, buy it off the store and just give it to someone.
Absolutely.
But
one of you listeners go and make a suggestion on the EE Discord to give Mackenzie back her content creator. I don't know if you had like a joint account or something you did it off of, but either way, get the show back its content creator.
back.
Share it to me, and
had one.
I will.
We never had.
Oh, I thought you had it. I
We
thought
never
you had it, and they took it away.
No, we never had one. Like we
No,
asked them
just,
for
They
one.
just never want to give it.
They don't want to
Yeah.
give it to
They
us.
don't wanna give it.
Really?
They don't want to
Well,
hand
somebody
it
go
over.
make that suggestion. DM it to me, and I will CTA no to everyone go upvote it. And then, you know, all the other CEOs or officers from every other alliance that's listening in, y'all do the same thing because Mackenzie deserves the freaking content creator status. Ain't nobody else bringing people together like this.
Hey, look, I want that content creator status only so that I can give you guys monthly Omega. That's what I really want to do. I don't care about the other parts of it, but we do have a lot of.
You don't have to care about it, but we care.
I appreciate that. Really, though, this show is all about having fun. And it's the reason why the studio doors are always open to you guys. So, big thank you to all of you who tune in every single week and support the broadcast. And of course, if you have suggestions for guests, because Latara works extremely hard, and we don't always get, we don't always have people just like lined up. It's unfortunate, but it's the way that it works sometimes. So if you guys want to have someone on the show or you would like yourself to be on the show, please reach out to one of us and we will be more than happy to bring you on the air if you have something really cool to share. Leaving you with this one, since apparently it's Weeb Sunday, right? This is Question, and for those of you that have never heard this song before, it is from the anime series Assassination Classroom. Turn it up, check it out. Love, hugs, and kisses.
Can't forget.
Go for it.
Boopin' local.
There you go.
Boopin' local. I got a boopin' local. After all, I'm a CEO over in Boop apparently. So
Okay.
they discovered it in the Gulag. So
It was
I
discovered in the
got a boopin'
Gulag.
local, which is like
Mm-hmm.
discovered in the Gulag.
Okay. Love, hugs, and kisses. Boop and local. When we'll see you next week.